Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to be talking about yield nodes. Now, some of you may have seen Liam from Crypto Yields UK. He put out a video yesterday or the day before, I think it was, where he talked about changes that had taken place to the yield nodes website. And those changes have only taken place if you've claimed the NFT. So I'm just going to jump on over to the computer here so we can see what I'm talking about. This was the video Liam put out. I'm not going to play this. You can play this yourself if you haven't seen it already. But basically what he's saying is since he's logged in after claiming the NFT, he can no longer access any of these menu items on the Yield Nodes website. All he's got is this dashboard here. The rest are all grayed out. And it does say here Yield Nodes NFT has been claimed. For those of us who haven't claimed the NFT, then this isn't the case. We can still see our Yield Nodes account as it was here. So as you can see on the dashboard, I've still got a masternode balance of 5,515, whereas Liam's is obviously striked out here. Mine is still visible, and also these menu items down the side are still visible. However, some of these menu items no longer do what they should do. So if we click on deposit, for example, here we should be able to see our deposits history. But it says due to external data attacks, we need to secure our systems and cannot store these data anymore. When it says they cannot store the data anymore, that's an important phrase. So we'll get back to that in a second. And then it says, as all of your transactions are accessible on blockchains, you can comprehend these at any time. So basically what they're saying is you can go to a blockchain explorer and you can look up your addresses and see when you've made transactions to yield nodes. If only it was that easy. I mean, it's not easy for people who know what they're doing. It's definitely not easy for people who have got no clue. The layperson, let's say. So let's just keep that highlighted there. It'll probably go when I click off it actually, but I just want to take you to reports here. And it says, after detecting a data breaching extension to our website, we additionally got under hacker attacks. To avoid any further data breaches, we close that section for now. All of your data are securely stored. So it says all of your data are securely stored here, but then on deposit, it says we cannot store these data anymore. So there's a bit of a contradiction there. Is it stored or isn't it stored? Who knows? In any case, what I don't understand is if Yield Nodes website was under attack from hackers, which I don't believe it was for 1 second. I think they're referring to the Yield Nodes legal extension, which basically extracted the logged in user's data and passed that over to the Yield Nodes legal website. There was no real hack. It was basically this extension that they're concerned about. But this extension didn't have any access to anybody else's data, only the user logged in's data. They've not hidden on the Yield Nodes menu here. They've not hidden the My Account tab or removed that data. So if I click on My Account, my data, my personal information is available. Same for KYC documents, so personal information relating to me and relating to my emergency contacts, etc. All that information is still visible. So why are Yield Nodes concerned that hackers might see my transactions, i.e. see what I've deposited, but they're not concerned that they can have access to my personal information as well as my next of kin's personal information or whoever I've got as my emergency contact? Doesn't make any sense. A list of transactions with a wallet address and a deposited amount is pretty useless really to anybody. Okay, so you can have my wallet address, but so what? Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why they would need to hide these transactions but not hide personal data. That's okay for hackers to have my personal data, but they don't want them to have my transactions. Doesn't make any sense. My thoughts around that, my personal thoughts are they want to remove any transactional data so people cannot prove to legal entities what they've deposited into yield nodes. I mean, obviously we could go to the blockchain explorer, as Yield Nodes have pointed out, if we wanted to, sift back. But I can't think of any other explanation why they would hide and withdraw transactional data and not make it available. There's something just not right about that. And if you've got any other explanations as to why that might be, then by all means share them down below, or come and join my Discord server, link down below, and discuss it over there why you think that might be. But I can't see any other reason, or any reason at all, why transactional data would be removed. Which now brings me on to the next point, which is the Yield Nodes NFT terms and conditions. So if we just have a look here on the terms and conditions page, I do suggest you read through this in your own time, and I'll read through it in its entirety, whether you've claimed the NFT or not. But a couple of things that kind of just jumped out at me, and I'm not a lawyer or a solicitor. I don't really understand legal terminology or contracts, but I do kind of understand English. But then English can be implied and inferred in many different ways, and the written word can be very, very ambiguous. And sometimes contracts and terms and conditions are written in just such a way to make them very, very ambiguous and make them not explicit, if that makes any sense. So what kind of struck me was this 3.1 here in the specific terms and conditions, where it says, subject to the terms and conditions hereunder, we agree to issue to you and you to agree to accept from us the Yield Nodes NFT. The issue price of your Yield Nodes NFT shall be the entirety of the amount standing to the credit of your Yield Nodes account immediately prior to issuance. The issue price. You hereby irrevocably authorize us, irrevocably meaning that there's no going back. You authorize us to debit the entire balance from your Yield Nodes account as payment of the issue price. So basically what they're saying is, we're issuing you this JPEG and you are paying for that JPEG with your NFT, with your Yield Nodes balance. Let me just say that again, because that didn't make sense. We are issuing to you the NFT and you are paying for that NFT with your Yield Nodes balance. Okay. So once you've agreed to that, that's it. Then Yield Nodes can wash their hands of any liability or responsibility to you and your investment, because you've accepted that image as payment for your balance. That's the way I read it. Now, maybe that's not what they're saying. Maybe if there's any lawyers or legal people out there, contract writers, might infer that differently, but that's what I think it's saying. You are now accepting this NFT and you are paying for it with your Yield Nodes balance. Now, I know they've said that they may or may not buy it back in a year's time for 120% of the value printed on it, but that brings me on to the next point here, which is down on 3.7, when it says, notwithstanding any representations made at any time by us, it's understood that the value of the Yield Nodes NFT can go up or down, and that the representations made are not necessarily indicative of future performance, and that the following further risks exist. But anyway, so there's loads and loads of terms here that kind of point out why the value of your NFT might be worthless. And one of them is the discontinuation of trading in any particular jurisdiction. And again, it's very ambiguous. I don't really know what that means. But does that mean if the Yield Nodes team and any of its subsidiaries, other businesses in other countries cease trading, then the value of your NFT could drop, and it could drop to zero? I don't know. It's ambiguous. We don't need this ambiguity if we're to claim the NFT. I mean, let's be honest, we shouldn't need to be claiming an NFT at all. It's further complicating things, right? So if the Yield Nodes as a product, as a platform, is no longer worthy, it's no longer profitable, we've all got our balances sat in Yield Nodes. Okay, so the masternoding of Decenemy coins, etc., all these, the way they were making money before is no longer working. We're going to have to switch things up. We're going to switch to Yield Nodes Pro. Yield Nodes Pro is going to mean investment into real world assets. I'm yet to see anything actually happen there. What's happening there? No sign of a Yield Nodes Pro website or any of these real world assets being purchased. But why do we have to have this NFT sitting in the middle between Yield Nodes and Yield Nodes Pro? It doesn't make any sense. Why could our balance just not be migrated from one platform to the other? You have now got 5,500 euros sat in Yield Nodes Pro, and that's going to be invested into these real world assets. It doesn't make any sense, guys. This whole thing is nonsensical, and in my opinion, it's the end of Yield Nodes. It's the end of your investment, my investment. Nobody's going to get any money out of this other than the owners of Yield Nodes, many of which are no longer even around. Nothing's happening on their Discord server. Stefan did an interview last week or the week before with some guy in German. I've not actually caught up with that yet already because I don't really fancy watching it with a load of subtitles, but I guess I'll have to at some point. But I believe there wasn't much said in that anyway. There's just no communication between Yield Nodes and us investors. And many of these people from Yield Nodes, us being one of them, are no longer around. They're just off spending the profits. And now I know some of you guys have left me a thumbs down on the videos, a couple of the videos I put out, not many, 10 thumbs downs here or 12 thumbs downs on other videos, whatever it is, I don't know. And honestly, it doesn't bother me, but it bothers me in the fact that if those thumbs down or dislikes are not from people on the team of Yield Nodes, if it's from real investors who've put their hard-earned money into Yield Nodes and they're just giving me a thumbs down because they think I've got a negative view about what's happening, I honestly feel sorry for you guys, because if there's some of you people out there who still believe that Yield Nodes and Yield Nodes Pro is going to rise from the ashes and something miraculous is going to happen and we're all going to get our investments back and live happily ever after, then I'm afraid that you're deluded. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry for people who've still got faith, and I feel sorry for those people who've put so much money into this platform. People put life savings in there, and some people might say, "Well, more fool you," but this has been. Honestly, I just feel really sorry, because there's a lot of people who are in a lot of hardship now. And it's just awful. Anyway, that's all I've got to say, guys. I know there wasn't any kind of real move forward with what's happening. Nobody's got any answers. I've got no answers. But the Yield Nodes legal team are doing their best to help people try and recover some of their investments. I know some of you guys are suspicious of the Yield Nodes legal team, but I don't think you need to be. I think they just want to get their investments back. It's a group of people like you who invested money and they want to try and get what they can back and help others to do the same. And I want to do what I can to get my investment back, which, in all honesty, I'm doubtful. I don't think I'll get anything back. I've accepted that. But people need to be held accountable for what's actually happened. And we need answers, and we need people to be honest and grow some fucking balls and tell us what's happening. Okay, so that's all I've got to say for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you found it useful, leave me the thumbs up. If you didn't, then leave me the thumbs down, whatever. It doesn't matter. But whatever, I hope that we can move forward and we can at least get some answers. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you again in another video. Also, check out some of my other content as well, because, we want to try and make some money, and most of my videos and content is there to try and help people save money and make money. And it's not all negative bollocks like this one is. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.